Hey peeps, we are back. It's Saturday, it's story time. I hope everyone's doing well. Before I get into the story time, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you for everyone who watches these videos, for everyone who thumbs up, subscribes, for everyone who shared some of my videos with some of their closest friends and family. I appreciate all of your support. To the people who get down in the comments, you guys know you're my peeps, and I love you, and I'm grateful for every last one of you. So I hope everyone's having a great day. Let's get into story time. So I was thinking about story time earlier in the week, and I remembered my little sister, who, by the way, her name's Kendra. My little sister, so I'm using her real name, okay? My little sister Kendra has always been a big fan of turtles. I don't know. You know, she loves turtles, small turtles, huge turtles, it doesn't matter. If it's a turtle, even to this very day, if she sees a turtle, it's as if she just saw a tiny baby kitten or something. She's like, oh, you know, she's totally into turtles. Anyway, when she was little, she was also a big fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So one day she's outside playing by a creek, and she ends up finding a little turtle. So she decides that she's gonna name this turtle Ralphiello or Leonardo something. One of the characters from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and this is gonna be her pet. So she brings it home, and my mom is a little, she's a little leery, but she does allow my sister to keep it. And one of the things that's really strange about this is my sister takes her turtle out for walks on a string that is made out of thread. Yes, I mean, you can't make this stuff up. She put the leash around his shell, around the legs, and she would take him out with her when she went out to play, and she'd hold on to the thread, you know. Well, this one day she takes him out and she gets sidetracked. I believe that she gets sidetracked by her friends, because when I came outside, she was full on playing catch outside with some friends. But she says that she only turned her back for a moment and that her turtle ran away. No, ma'am, that turtle can't run. That turtle is extremely slow. She turned around playing catch. They did a little jump rope. Turned her back on that turtle for about an hour. When she came back looking for the turtle, she couldn't find him. It was a big to-do, a big uproar. Let me tell you, everybody in the neighborhood, we are out combing the area looking for this daggone turtle. I mean, if she could have called the police, she would have. She was in a full-blown panic attack. She was having a fit. And everybody is thinking, well, what? You the one left him? You left this turtle, you know. It's ridiculous. To this very day, she still insists that her turtle was fast and that she only turned around for a second. And when she turned back around, Ralphiello or Leonardo was gone. I said, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. That was the slowest turtle ever. And you know you were turned around. I mean, it's ridiculous, but little note, people, if you want to take your turtle out for a walk on a piece of thread, hold on to the thread and the turtle. Keep an eye out. You know, you can't just turn around and have a quick game of catch and a little jump rope, a little double dutch, and think that the turtle is just gonna hang by. He's gonna go on about his business. Oh my gosh, my sister. I love her. I really do. So also, I don't know if I ever told you guys that well, not just me, a lot of members of my family were huge wrestling fans. I don't want to hear nothing, okay? I don't want to hear anything about it's just fake. I don't want to hear about it, okay? Me and my family are like crazy, crazy wrestling fans. I remember watching wrestling at my grandma Ollie's, and she had a sister, and we called her Aunt Sis. Aunt Sis was crazy about wrestling. Let me tell you, her favorite was Gorgeous George. And I mean, I loved wrestling, but I didn't like watching it with my Aunt Sis because she would get really active. You know, if somebody came down off the top rope, she would elbow you or grab you up in a chokehold or something. I'm like, wait a minute. I like watching wrestling. I didn't want to be in the ring. Well, not until later. I mean, just a little sidebar. When I was 17, I found out that there's a wrestling school here in town. And I told my mom, I said, I'm going to join. And she said, you're what? And I said, I'm going to join. You know, I want to be a wrestler. That's what I want to do when I grow up. There were so many things I wanted to do when I grew up. Oh my God. Anyway, she says, I don't think so, hon. And I said, yeah. It's only $1,500 and I have a job, so I'm going to save up for this. And she said, Let me tell you, by the time I turned 18, I decided to do something else. It's a little too strenuous to be in the ring. Anyway, I'll have to tell you what I decided to do in another story time. Lord, that didn't quite work out. But anyway, wrestling was my thing, okay? There are so many wrestling stories I could tell you. I mean, I ended up dating somebody who was, okay. Anyway, I ended up dating someone who was a supervisor over at the WCW, which stood for World Championship Wrestling, right in the middle of the heart of the war between Monday Night Nitro and Monday Night Raw. Oh my God, I had a great time. Some good times. Anyway, I'm gonna have to share some of those during story time. I was lit, okay? Anyway, I always got into wrestling. I mean, wrestling was my thing. And there was this kid at school. I believe I was in the 6th grade, I think. I know in one of my Real Housewives of Orange County, I spoke about my diagnosis with being dyslexic and the struggles I had as a kid with a learning disability, and how when I moved into the 6th grade, they had finally tested me and I ended up in these special classes, which were incorrectly named severe learning disability classes, which is absolutely horrific. I have no idea what educated grown adult thought that it would be a good idea to put children who have a learning disability or any other condition in classes and label those classes severe learning disability. I mean, you're putting targets on their back as if they didn't already have a target by being separated into these smaller classes. Anyway, these smaller classes helped me out quite a bit. I'm still dyslexic. I'll be dyslexic my whole life. I still have problems. I stumble. You know, sometimes I have really bad days with it. Sometimes I can see numbers and they are not what you see. You know what I mean? It's a rough time. But when I was in the 6th grade, there was this guy. He's a real smart kid, but he was very cocky and very rude. And he would always make these comments to me that were, you know, like, you're dumb, you're stupid, you know, just stuff that kids do. He also wore glasses. And one day he said something to me, and for the life of me, I can't think of what he said, but I hauled off and punched him dead in the face, right in the glasses. And then after that, I tried to get him in a headlock, but the teachers came and broke it up. I don't know why. I was a fighter. You know, it was all that wrestling. Anyway, we both got sent to the office. They called my mom. They let my mom know that I broke this kid's glasses. And my mom was extremely pissed because she's a single mom. She's working hard. She's working a full-time job and a part-time job and trying to go to college a couple days a week. You know what I mean? This woman worked her butt off to make a really good life for me. My mom did a really good job with me. We didn't have a lot, but we didn't know we didn't have a lot because she really sacrificed. Anyway, we end up getting a call from the school a few days later, and we go in and we meet with his parents and the principal, and we find out that his glasses are extremely expensive because one of his eyes is actually a glass eye and the other eye is really damaged. So the glasses are special or something, and it was quite a bit of money. My mom had to pay about $800 to replace his glasses, and I felt miserable. I was so ashamed. I was so upset. And, you know, even though I felt that I was defending myself, and I always did as a kid, I don't care who you are, bigger than me, guy, girl, I'll fight you. I mean, that's just how I was as a kid. Now I'm not physically, violent with people. But as a kid, I'll fight you, buddy. It was a hobby, kind of, wrestling. Anyway, my mom did pay for those glasses. She had to work a lot of extra hours to afford to pay off his glasses over time. And to this very day, I still feel so bad about that. She worked so hard. And then I just put extra pressure on my mom. And, if there's any kids that watch my videos, which I don't think you do, but if there's any teenagers, give your parents a break. Before you haul off and whoop somebody's ass, think about your parents. What are they going to do? You know what I mean? If you cause damage, which I did on more than one occasion. One time I was at school and this guy, he always liked to touch me. It was really a problem. And I carried a little purse. But the thing is, at that time, I had this real passion for rocks. Beautiful rocks, crystallized rocks, anything. And I would always find them and stick them in my purse. This dude, oh my gosh, he was always talking to me and holding on to me and just touching me when I didn't want to be touched. And one day I took my purse and wham, right upside the head. He fell to the ground on the playground and he didn't move for a little bit. And I was worried. I started screaming. I tried to wake him up. And then I kept thinking, well, it was just my purse. And then my best friend, Melanie, she said, you still got your rock collection in your purse? I said, oh my God, I killed him. Oh my God, it was a mess. Let me just say, I was called into the office again. The crazy thing is, whenever I was called into the office, it's usually always because of some sort of incident. But I didn't have a lot of incidents, just a couple. But yeah, kids, don't keep your rock collection in your purse, and don't just haul off and hit people. That's what I learned. Mom, I'm sorry, girl. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna move on. Okay, so last week we talked a little bit about Aaron. So I just wanted to make a statement before I get into any more conversations about Aaron. And Aaron, if you're watching this, buddy, you know you're wrong. Anyway, I wanted to mention that don't forget that there's always three sides to a story. His side, my side, and what really happened, okay? So when I'm giving you this story, I'm giving you my side of the story, which is my truth. I started dating Aaron, and I thought, he's amazing. You know what I mean? He's funny, he's smart, he's active. I mean, he really kept his shape together. And I was down on myself. I had the worst self-esteem ever. And I just couldn't figure out, why is he interested in me? What is going on? Is this real? Is this legitimate? So throughout our relationship, I always sort of felt back on, is this legitimate? Is he serious about me? Because I think it's because he gave off the allure that he was all together. And I cannot say that he's not. I mean, even to this very day, this man is all together. Like I said, he's educated. He has his master's degree. He's always kept a good job. He's not afraid to work a second job. His home has always been immaculate. Never one thing out of place. I remember one time I went to his house and he has everything absolutely perfect. Everything. I mean, he's the type of person that when he cleans or when he leaves his house, he backs out to make sure that everything is in its proper place. So he had this little figurine on his table, and I moved the figurine just a tad to the left. And that day when we were leaving out of his place, he was backing out like he always does, and he stopped. And I said, okay, what's happening? He realized that figurine was moved. He went back and centered it, and then we left. And I remember sitting in the car thinking, what is going on? Like, seriously? This guy is, I don't know what it is. I can't diagnose that, but it's serious. One time I was there And I made up his bed. He was in the shower, so I made up his bed. And when he came out, he undid it. He unmade his bed and did it the way he likes it. And I was so ticked. I said, well, why did you do that? I said, I thought I was doing something nice by making it up for you. And he said, well, you didn't do it right. I said, oh, okay. I'll never try to help you again. And I never did. I think that's ridiculous. I'm just saying. But I also have to say that the downfall of our relationship is definitely not all on him. You know, me coming into the relationship, doubting myself, coming off of this horrible relationship with Eric, and having a huge chip on my shoulder, and my self-esteem being in the garbage where it was, I brought a lot of darkness to our relationship as well. And I do have to say that he was always patient with me. I would absolutely lose it on him in 2.3 seconds. If I thought that he slighted me in any way, I would lose it, because I had already put up with so much crap in my relationship with Eric. I refused to put up with any more crap. So if I even thought for a second that he was slighting me, I would go ballistic. And he dealt with that for quite some time. He dealt with it so much that at one point I thought, I don't want to be bothered with him because he's a pushover. You know what I mean? And then after a while, he must have talked to some of his fraternity brothers or somebody at the church. And they said, you can't let this woman talk to you and treat you like this. And he started speaking up for himself, which turned out to be very attractive. I'm just saying. I mean, he didn't need anything else to be more attractive than he was. But it's something about a man who's not afraid to stand up for himself that is attractive to me. Dear God, peeps, don't think that I'm crazy. I'm not. I'm just rambling on right now. Well, this one time, I don't know what happened. I think his grandmother showed up to visit him as a surprise. She had a key to his place, and she showed up to his place, and she made him dinner. And when he came home, he was super excited. You know, his grandmother was in town. And on a side note, his grandmother was a really awesome lady. I mean, smart, funny, very classy. She dressed beautifully. He had a really great grandma who spoiled him quite rotten. Him and his grandmother were hanging out, and he missed my calls and text messages. So I was really upset because I didn't know his grandmother was in town. I thought he was just ignoring me or doing something dumb. You know what I mean? And so he calls me from his car, and it's on speakerphone. And oh my gosh, as soon as I picked up the phone, honey, listen, I unleashed. And he said, well, I'm glad you had a chance to get that off your chest. He said, my grandmother is right here and she just heard everything. Oh my God. Can I just say, I was so embarrassed. That was my first introduction to his grandmother. Oh my God. I was so embarrassed. Why was I angry? Why was I upset? I mean, who does that? I was totally freaking out. I mean, it was bad. However, even though I was wrong in this situation, out of my daggone mind, he decided that he still wanted to introduce me to his grandmother, and she was kind enough to agree to meet me. And she was so kind to me, gracious. She was understanding. I apologized 100 times. I mean, my mouth was vicious, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, his grandmother just heard all of that. It was quite embarrassing, but she was lovely and she kept it classy. She really did. She was really sweet to me, and she let me know that, you know, even though he's her grandson, she loves him as if he was her son, and that he's a good person and he deserves a good girlfriend. And, you know, she let me know that he's absolutely spoiled because that's the way she wanted it, and that maybe I should watch my mouth sometime. Anyway, she was a lovely lady, and I think I got the opportunity to talk to her one or two more times, And things were great. You know, she didn't hold that against me, and I appreciate that because I was off the chain. I really was. I think that there were so many things that I took as slights in our relationship. Um, and those little slights made me act out, and it caused me to take myself out of character in a lot of times. Um, and he was always acting superior on so many levels that I always felt that I had to stand up for myself. At one point, we had a situation where he made a comment. I guess I had started picking up a little weight, and he said, you know, do you think you might be picking up a little weight? And that really hurt my feelings. It really did. It took me out for a few seconds. And I said, why? And he said, I don't really want a fat girlfriend. Oh my God. Can I just tell you, I lost it. Do you understand me? I blew up, put him out. Bye, buddy. Okay? Maybe I have gained a little weight. Are you serious? I mean, I was ticked. The point is, I had gained maybe 10 or 15 pounds, and that's not the way to approach me. Okay? Listen, that was enough for me to break up. I told him, you know, you can go on, go. Bye. Maybe 2 days after we broke up, I went to a party and ran into an ex-boyfriend, which I'm going to just call him Todd. I ran into an ex-boyfriend named Todd, right? And Todd and I have always been close. I mean, always been close. We broke up on great terms. We just knew that we weren't in the right place to date each other at that time. So I ran into Todd, you know, we hung out, we spent, you know, the afternoon and the evening together. It was a good time, right? Well, later, maybe 4 or 5 days later, me and Aaron end up talking. You know, he apologizes. We decide to get back together. And I'm one of these people that I like to keep it 100 at all times. I let him know everything that went down with Todd. I'm not a liar. I'm not going to hide anything. And one of the reasons that I never hide or lie about things like that is because I don't want someone else to be able to tell you my business. I'm going to tell you my business up front. I felt, you know, even though we were broken up and even though this happened when we were like, you know, friends.
You slept with someone else?
We were on a break.
We were on a break. I'm going to just tell you, I don't want you to find out later that I had a good time with my friend Todd. You know what I'm saying? So I told him about it and he went ballistic. He lost it. You cheated on me.
We were on a break.
You know, we were on a break, okay? He had a whole fit and storms out of my house. I mean, he absolutely freaks out on me, okay? So then I, of course, told my mom and my sister. My mom and my sister get irritated. They really do. But I'm still working at the video store. My mom is there one day and he's there. And he pulls my mom to the side to tell her, you know, he knows that she's angry with him and upset with him, but let me tell you what she did. And he proceeds to tell my mom all about Todd. Listen, my mom was not shooken at all. She looked at him and she said, buddy, she already told me. She already told me. You know, you want to talk to me? Let's talk about how you called her fat. Let's talk about how you guys were on a break. And let's talk about how you reacted. Buddy, no, not today. And he was not happy with that. He said that my parents don't hold my feet to the fire. They should have gotten mad at me for what I did. And I said, buddy, my parents is always going to have my side. Even if I'm wrong, they're not going to tell you. They're going to tell me, girl, what was you doing? You was wrong for that. But they're not going to tell him. Are you kidding me? I mean, there were so many crazy situations. I mean, there was situations where, honey, listen, somebody pulled a gun. I mean, it was a dangerous parking lot situation, and it was his fault. and my fault. I mean, it could have been really deadly and dangerous. It really could. And thank goodness one of my friends had his brain on and he said, wait a minute now. Anyway, I'm going to save that for another story time. You guys, reliving this relationship is rough. It really is, because things ended up getting a lot better for us and things leveled out. So we were growing up, we were calm, we were rational, we were, having good communication. And I thought, he's the one, and then this dude marries somebody behind my back and continues to date me. Oh my God. Oh, there are so many more stories and so many more Saturdays. And until next time, bye.